that you have something that you always had, or is something that you got during this trip that you had?
That's a very good question. Um, from I've been pretty positive for just as long as I can remember. Like back in the day, I read the book The Secret, and I just remember it's like it's always better to just have like a good mindset about things, and then I could also, you know, I think it became very obvious when I was in Los Angeles because you got to think about, you're surrounded by all these, everyone wants to be an actor, a model, cooking show host. Everyone wants to do all this stuff. And there's half of the people are there just, it's all going to work out. Like, this is just part of the process and think positive and manifest and all this. And then there's the people that just have, like the world is against me. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not rich enough. I don't have this. I don't have that. It's always just, and those people just got it like exhausting. Like that attitude was just exhausting. So, I've always just tried to be as, positive about things as possible because, why not?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's nice. I mean, I'm pretty sure that the amount of experiences that you have had in the last years helped you also see the positive things, the positive side of everything. Because at the end, you have to focus on the good things and you have to let go of the bad things, because otherwise
Yeah.
you stay too much in the past. Um, is there something that you learn about yourself, that you think you learn about yourself, because of the trip, that you wouldn't have learned about yourself staying back home in the US?
You mean my first initial trip outside of the US or just
No,
being,
I
like,
mean
just
general.
being in general? I think I have learned that I can do anything. Like, I have I have complete confidence in myself that I can basically do whatever I need to do, and if I don't know the answers, I can figure it out. Just, it's you have to like, you know when I first moved to Czech Republic, I saw this T-shirt that I bought. I never buy shirts that have words on it, but it said "Choose your hard." And so I saw that, and it was like, okay, you get to like choose the hard that you have in your life. And so for me, it was just like every time something hard was starting to happen, it's just like, okay, well, there's, yeah, that's hard, but there's something like better at the end of it. So I just, kind of learned not to let myself get too like bogged down when things don't go my way, or, and it's taken a lot of work. I'm not 100%, but it's, I don't think of things being like the end of the world anymore. I'm like, I can do anything. I'm resilient. I've been through COVID in India. I've like traveled to all these countries. I've dealt with I've dealt with being in Sri Lanka and having a coconut tree fall on me and going to emergency rooms. Like I've figured out like all those things. So it's just, like it just gives me that like confidence that I can, get through difficult situations in ways that others might not.
Absolutely, I can only understand, and I can only believe that's something that you realize that nothing is impossible. Like everything is just a matter of time and a matter of solutions.
Hmm.
I see around me, and I'm also guilty about that. Or why not being honest? That you have this need of doing things, and I see in the colleagues, I see it in myself. You have the need of doing things to make the others happy. Like you have the need of doing to do things to get the acceptance of the ones around you. I think in your case, this is something that doesn't exist because the people around you are constantly change. What motivates you to move on? What motivates you to do the things that you do?
Wow, that's a very loaded question. I mean, in the sense that so I think God, that was a really good question. No, so I think for me, I've the thing I've had to learn is I can only really control like what's around me and the and the and the people that want help.
Oh, that's a good one.
You know? Um, like I feel because because I've seen so much. I've done so much. It's like I always, like, for a while, I was always trying to impart my wisdom on people, family, friends, about like, oh, well, it could be like this. It could be like this, and it's like, I know I'm right. I know I have the answers because I know all the options out there. I'm also a very like data driven person, so I can, logically like make statements about things, but it's like people will never figure out things until they've like walked in my shoes or they've seen it for themselves, right? And everyone's own journey is very like you know personal. So one thing I've just had to learn is like the only thing I can really just like focus on right now is like my myself and my immediate little bubble. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, because actually and I think that's the most important things that we all forget about is to focus on the most important person that
Hmm.
matters for you, and that's you and your small
Hmm.
bubble that you have around you. But thank you for this. Um, I want to get some funny stuff inside. Uh, I want to hear how the are you learning the language in Prague?
um I've I have failed beginner check 3 times. I am committed to start it again. My husband, he's been very consistent with classes, so he's doing really well. I think it has been a struggle for me. The other part of it too is he knows like 4 other languages already. So him picking up another language is easy. Like other Europeans, like, you already know like a couple of English, your language, maybe another language. So that part of the brain works differently. Like I'm here and I'm, like practically like mid 40s, like trying to learn new languages. And it's just not like, coming to me as fast. So,